At 6, a school superintendent has been arrested and charged in connection to a crash in Plantsville. What the Board of Education is saying this morning.
Body camera footage of a shooting involving police officers during a search of a New Haven apartment has been released. What the Inspector General's office says about the shooting.
And the ice skating community in Connecticut came together to remember the victims of the mid-air crash near Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We're glad you're with us at 6 o'clock. I'm Keith McGilfrey.
And I'm Symphony Privet. We hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday so far. Let's check in with meteorologist Matt Scott. It's feeling a little warmer out there.
Yeah, it was like, yesterday.
The walk-in was nice.
Yesterday we had a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
Now we get it out of here.
All right.
For some folks, that's exactly the way you like snow. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you on this Tuesday morning. A touch of spring out there. Temperatures, even in the overnight for just about everybody, over freezing. So whatever we got Sunday night into Monday is rapidly dissipating and disappearing too. Winds are going to be increasing though as we go through the day, and we are watching still for what is becoming an active weather pattern, not one but two fairly decent cracks at fairly decent messes. More on that coming up. Satellite radar picture is quiet. Last few hours, we've started to see the winds shift a little bit. They are now coming in out of the north, and as that happens, we'll start to see the winds start to switch, and then they'll kick up as that happens. So if you watch hour by hour, not looking for anything today, obviously things are looking A-OK there. 40 in Hartford, 43 in New Haven, 40 in Groton. What is going on? The winds 5 to 10, but we're looking again for those to pick up, especially as we go through the afternoon hours. No wind advisory or anything, but be mindful for that. Temperatures reaching 40 degrees later on. For some of you, already there. We'll see some winds between about 1 and 5 o'clock, and then we'll start to see some changes take place as the system develops, tracks its way across the nation. We'll talk about that in detail. That's coming up in a little bit at 6:02 on this Tuesday morning. I get to say hello for the first time this week, because I took the day off yesterday.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
you didn't notice I wasn't here?
No, I had no idea.
We thought he was just under a desk taking a
Yeah,
nap
I was
in
looking
there.
for you all day. All right.
Nice to see you.
Welcome back, Matt. All right, 6:02 right now. We are looking pretty good across the board here. New Haven looking good this morning out by Long Wharf, and we'll also take a look at your drive time. So Brantford to New Haven is 7 minutes. New Haven to Bridgeport is just about a half hour, 95 south. And New Haven to Old Saybrook just under that. Your travel speeds averaging 68 miles per hour. Keith and Symphony.
Thank you, Rachel. 6:03, Region 15 Public School Superintendent Joshua Smith faces DUI charges. Southington police say he drove into a pole on Mulberry Street in Plantsville on January 18th around 1 in the morning. It happened just feet away from the AquaTurf Club. Officers say Smith also hit a parked car but was not hurt in the crash. The Region 15 Board of Ed released a statement saying he let the board know what happened right away, and went on to say, quote, Mr. Smith has served Region 15 for 7 years and has a demonstrated track record of successful, trustworthy leadership. The board is confident that Mr. Smith will continue to lead our district with excellence and integrity.
The Office of Inspector General has released its report on last week's officer-involved shooting in New Haven. That shooting sent 2 police officers from West Haven to the hospital, and it ended with the suspect dead inside an apartment. And we do want to warn you, the body cam video you're about to see may be too much for some to watch. Here's Fox 61's Brent Harden with the details.
The Inspector General's office has released new body cam footage of the deadly police-involved shooting in New Haven, marking the first officer-involved shooting of 2025. 2 officers were shot while trying to serve a warrant at an apartment on Grand Avenue in the early morning hours of January 29th.
Police with a search warrant! Police with a search warrant, come to the door! Police with a search warrant, come to the door! Police, police!
West Haven police officers and members of a DEA task force can be seen entering the apartment, and there they confront a woman who is moved aside before officers approach Aaron Freeman, peeking out from behind a bedroom door.
I saw you tucked in the room, get out! Come out! Come out! Okay, you're okay. Show me your head, show me your
After that exchange, video shows Freeman firing several shots at the officers, hitting Officer Robert Rappa in the leg. He gets into the nearby bathroom for cover and calls out to his colleagues.
Rappa! Rappa! Rappa, where?
Video from another officer's body cam shows him taking shelter in the nearby stairwell and exchanging gunfire with the subject. Officers then bring in the West Haven Police Special Response Team, armed with long guns and safety shields. Sergeant Joseph Reel can be seen with his shield up and at the ready before another round of gunfire from Freeman. Sergeant Reel returns fire but staggers back and calls out for the officers to get him out. State Police Major Crimes found a gun near Freeman's body. His autopsy confirmed the cause of death as gunshot wounds of the torso and extremities, and his manner of death deemed a homicide.
That was Brent Harden reporting. Now, investigators have not released toxicology results. The Inspector General says they are working with other departments to finish up the investigation and come to a conclusion on the officer's use of deadly force.
It is 6:06. The Office of the Inspector General says Bridgeport police officers' actions were flawed in a deadly police shooting in Ansonia last year. The Inspector General's report says the man officers shot and killed did not have a gun on him at the time. Jonathan Bell was shot several times after leading Bridgeport police in a chase back on February 4th, 2024, a year ago today. The chase ended when Bell crashed into a house in Ansonia after officers pulled a woman out of the car unharmed. They fired at Bell in the driver's seat. The report says there was a pellet rifle in the back of the SUV and 2 pellet pistols in the spare tire well, which were all out of Bell's reach. The Inspector General says the shooting does not meet the standards of an unjustified shooting, but the report said there should be consequences to the substandard police work, and the Bridgeport Police Department should take appropriate action. Bridgeport Police released this statement after the Inspector General's report was released. It said the department, quote, acknowledges the findings of the Inspector General's report and is committed to thoroughly reviewing the identified issues. The Bridgeport Police Department continues to educate and provide training to our officers.
Authorities say they have positively identified 55 of the 67 victims in last week's aircraft collision near Reagan National Airport in D.C. Authorities also say they recovered an engine and large pieces of the plane. Crews say it'll take several more days to recover the rest of the pieces of the plane and that military helicopter involved. More than 300 responders are taking part in the recovery effort. Ice skating rinks around the country took 5 minutes yesterday afternoon to pause and remember the lives lost on board that flight. People at West Hartford's Veterans Memorial Ice Rink held a moment of silence to honor the young skaters, coaches, and parents who died. At the International Skating Center of Connecticut in Simsbury, people gathered to remember 2 Russian skaters and coaches who used to work at the center. FOX61's Kay Pattyfoot has more from the emotional tribute.
The ice skating community is coming together, especially here in Simsbury at the International Skating Center of Connecticut after last week's tragic aircraft collision at Reagan Airport. 2 well-known Russian skaters and coaches on that flight had close ties to this arena and spent many of their time in Connecticut training skaters.
Figure skating coaches Yevgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov were among the dozens who died in the mid-air collision near Reagan Airport. They were on board the passenger plane traveling from Kansas to Washington, D.C. when the plane collided with a military helicopter. Monday afternoon, former students, friends, and coaches came to the International Skating Center of Connecticut in Simsbury for a special tribute.
They were like second parents to my children. And it all started when they were really young. They got out on the ice, and the first person that gave them their lessons was Zhenya. And they had such a wonderful time learning from her, and she was so patient and kind. And that fun thing turned into a 10-year friendship and commitment.
Monday's vigil was emotional for a lot of people, especially for Anna Zuckerman-Devenko, who told me Coach Zhenya and Vadim were like second parents to her now adult children. She said that she hopes more people will continue to skate in their honor. In Simsbury, Kay Pattyfoot, FOX61.
Firefighters have been watching what's left of a home in Waterbury for more than 24 hours now as hotspots from a fire continue to cause concerns. A family of 5 was taken to the hospital after the house fire Sunday on Gale Drive. You see the aftermath here. Neighbors also had to leave due to embers that were falling on their homes.
smoke was terrible. The smoke infiltrated into my house. They're probably on my roof, and probably on everybody's roof here. You know, we're fortunate that another house didn't catch on fire.
We do not know what sparked the fire. Officials are looking into what happened with a nearby hydrant. It ran dry and the department had to call in Wolcott crews for a water tanker.